quota to nation building using Ondo State as a platform. The scripture says a wise woman builds a home. And when the home is built, the nation is also being built. But the other one, full hands down, and I know you are all wise women, building your homes and building the nation. Permit me to acknowledge the tremendous progress.
The arrival of Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa at the International Culture and Event Center, the Dome in Akure, underlined the importance of the Women's Summit organized by the National Council for Women's Societies in the state. In her address of welcome, the State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Lola Fagbemi, who appreciated the governor for promoting women inclusiveness in governance, urged more prayers for the success of his administration. Delivering the lecture entitled Women and Election, the president of the group, Bishop Oluwakemi Odushola, said the role of women in the election process cannot be overstated. She encouraged women in the state not to allow the current economic challenges discourage them from playing active roles in the political advancement of the state.
Anytime you look at the voters' card, it must remind you of something, that you want your future for your children and the children unborn. This is your voters' card. To eradicate all of discrimination and violence against women, don't allow anybody to buy you from the best governor. Are we not lucky?
Some members of the women group thanked and prayed for the success of the Aiyedatiwa administration while promising their support. In their messages of goodwill, the Special Advisor on Gender, Olamide Falana, her counterparts on Education and Women Affairs, Olawunmi Ilawole, and Seun Osamaye, Special Assistant on Women Mobilization, Mrs. Bayo Aino, and wife of the Head of Service, Mrs. Morayo Philip, as well as Mrs. Esakume Sarah Kebi, hailed Governor Aiyedatiwa for enhancing the welfare of women and all residents of the state at all levels.
If you look at the Ondo State statistics, we are about 5.3 million plus. And the women, we are 49.6%. That means we are almost half of Ondo State.
Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who thanked and appreciated all women and their groups in the state, said his administration will prioritize inclusion and empowerment of women across all levels of governance.
Let me assure you, our mothers, that our administration is not relenting in its efforts at making life better for our people in the state. We shall continue to pursue programs and policies to relieve parents of the burden of parenthood towards our children. This year, the state government had paid West African Examination Council fees for our children in public secondary schools. We have plans for bursary and scholarships, the details of which are being worked out. The state government has set up Agriculture and Food Security Committee that is doing a good job. Our commitment to ensuring that no family goes to bed hungry in Ondo State is total.
While acknowledging the contributions of women to societal development, Governor Aiyedatiwa said his administration will continue to identify with 35% affirmation. He admonished the women not to allow their words be used by desperate politicians so as to ensure peaceful conduct of the election, leading to the sustenance of the impactful governance in the state. The event was also used to honor deserving individuals, while an award of excellence was presented to Governor Aiyedatiwa in appreciation and recognition of his efforts to develop the state and the women folk. From the International Culture and Events Center, the Dome in Akure, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Experts have reacted to recent building collapses reported across Nigeria, challenging building owners, government and professionals.
We have seasoned professionals in the built environment, but the problem is that they are not being patronized.
And the state chairman, Nigeria Institute of Engineers, Ondo State, Razak Ejibono, was speaking with Osrc, frowned at the incident, which has become frequent in the country. According to them, governments must work together with the stakeholders to ensure that quackery becomes a thing of the past.
We have seasoned professionals in the built environment, but the problem is that they are not being patronized. They patronize people that we refer to as quacks, both in all professions. Maybe in architecture, as an architect, as a quack architect, or there is a quack in that profession. Even in engineering, we have quacks. Even in quantity survey, we have quacks. So people patronize quacks more than the professionals. We saw some things that are not working well. Then we are trying to book an appointment with the governor, our able governor, Aiyedatiwa. Once we are able to meet him, and I know he has a listening here, he will listen to us. We don't pray for such thing in Ondo State. And I know as we are here, as professionals, as qualified professionals, will not allow any building collapse with the help of
and then there is monitoring. One thing is for somebody to have a law and to enforce it, and then there's a monitoring agency to make sure that they are carrying out all this and everything is working as it should be. So my counsel is, whether it is government or individuals, they should patronize professionals. Every professional has an input when it comes to building, when it comes to bridges, when it comes to road. It's not just like somebody selling banana or granite on the roadside. Every professional, and one thing, even among professionals, as a structural engineer, I cannot take the job of an architect. Everybody should know his boundary.
Although building collapse is not rampant in Ondo State, but necessary actions must be taken to avoid the tragedy. Still staying with building collapse in Nigeria, the investigative panel set up by the federal government on the collapsed two-story school building in Jos, Plateau State, has released a report on the incident. The two-story building, housing Saint Academy, located at the Busa Buji community in Jos North local government area of the state, collapsed last Friday, claiming 22 lives and left 154 trapped persons who were evacuated to various hospitals. Director General of Nigeria Building and Road Research Institute, Samson Duna, said a report of the panel revealed that the physical observation of the building looked distressed, while weak materials were used for the building. He said the report also depicted that the quality of the concrete used to construct the two-story building was in doubt, as there was no boundary between the concrete and the steel reinforcement. Professor Duna enjoined the government and other professional bodies in the country to insist on integrity tests on all distressed buildings, especially those around the collapsed building site. The Nigeria Labour Congress has threatened to shut down the country for a month in protest against plans by the National Assembly to deregulate the national minimum wage. NLC's threat came as the nation awaits a new national minimum wage following months of negotiations between organized labor, the federal government, and the organized private sector. NLC President Joe Ajaero declared the position of the union while speaking on the sidelines of the 67th Nigeria Employers Consultative Association annual meeting in Lagos. Ajaero accused the Joint Committee of the Senate, the House of Representatives, and the Judiciary to remove Section 34 from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent list so that state governors can determine what to pay workers. According to the NLC President, International Labour Organization recognizes wages not for subnationals. It submitted that NLC had proposed many options apart from the amount of the minimum wage, which if the government had addressed long before now, and of course before the removal of oil subsidies, would have saved Nigeria from the current challenges. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State has attended the passing out parade of the youth corps members of the state, promising automatic employment for 100 with outstanding performance during the service year. The governor also approved the sum of 5 billion naira for the construction of a new permanent orientation camp for the National Youth Service Corps in the state. Sanwo-Olu at the event announced that each of the outgoing 2024 Batch B Stream 1 corps members would get 100,000 naira cash gift. The governor said the move was the government's way of recognizing and nurturing the talents that would lead Nigeria into the future. He added that it was just the beginning of many more initiatives aimed at making NYSC experience in Lagos memorable and impactful. The newly appointed heads of local government administration have been tasked to lead with vision, integrity, and accountability to ensure effective service delivery. Chairman, Local Government Service Commission, Femi Idris, gave the charge at a one-day induction and training organized for the newly appointed officials of the local government and local council development areas of Ondo State. Joy Pius reports that the attendees dwelled on the theme towards building and managing effective team, crisis management, leadership, and administration.
The 47 newly appointed heads of local government administration in Ondo State converged for an induction and training program organized by the Ondo State Local Government Service Commission. In the welcome address, Permanent Secretary of the Commission, Dr. Bayo Ilawole, noted that leadership is all about service, charging the officers to prioritize inclusive decision-making and embrace continuous learning and capacity building.
It is necessary that before we deploy them to take action as is expected and guided by rules and regulations, we must also refreshing their brain and give them specific instructions on what to do. To whom much is given, much is expected. And in as much as our actions are guided by rules and regulations, as a commission, we are to leverage, not only leverage, give specific instruction to our own staffs and tell them what is expected of them, and that is exactly why we are here.
Chairman of the Commission, Femi Idris, congratulated the newly inducted officers, highlighting their pivotal roles in the local government of Ondo State.
You are embarking on a journey that will enhance your skills and knowledge in building and managing effective teams, crisis management, and administration. These skills are essential to drive progress and development in our local government. Your ability to build and manage effective teams, manage crises, and administer your local governments effectively will shape the lives of our citizens and the future of our communities.
In his keynote address, the head of service, Bayo Philip, encouraged the officers to be good ambassadors and make a difference in their area of jurisdiction.
The Commission no doubt has appointed you based on your competence and dedication. Now it is time to apply your expertise in fulfilling your duties and responsibilities in your respective areas of assignment. As newly appointed administrators, you will face significant responsibilities anchored on high expectations. I am, however, confident that with the right mindset, skills, commitment, and teamwork, you will deliver.
For the participants, they were equipped with knowledge and skills to effectively transform the local government administration of Ondo State. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention has recorded 3,620 and 103 deaths across 34 states and the Federal Capital Territory as of July 15, 2024. NCDC Director General Jide Idris at a press briefing in Abuja disclosed that the current outbreak had spread to 187 local government areas with a cumulative case fatality rate of 2.8% since the beginning of the year. Idris noted that the predominant age affected was 5 years old, while male accounts for 52% of cases and female the rest. He, however, said there was a 5.6% decline in the number of cases in this reporting week as compared to the preceding week. Dr. Idris added that although almost all the states in Nigeria had reported cases of cholera, there appeared to be an underreporting of the situation, as required data from the states were not coming in real time as expected, given the trend in previous years. The federal government has predicted that 94 towns are at risk of a 5-day flooding from now till Saturday. Minister of State of Environment, Dr. Isiaq Salako, said the identified locations and the environs, which do not include the southwest, would likely witness heavy rainfall that may lead to flood within the prediction period. Salako urged stakeholders across the country to mitigate the flooding and come out unscattered. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has dismissed a suit praying that the Arabic inscriptions on Naira notes be removed. Justice Yelin Bogoro declared that the Lagos-based lawyer Malcolm Omiro, who filed the suit, failed to prove that the use of Arabic inscriptions on the Naira notes by the Central Bank of Nigeria was in bad faith. The lawyer had in 2020 filed the suit, contending that having Arabic inscriptions on the Naira notes portrayed Nigeria as an Islamic state, contrary to the country's constitutional status of a secular state. Omiro prayed the court to order the CBN to replace the Arabic inscriptions with either English language, which is Nigeria's official language, or any of the country's 3 main indigenous languages, Hausa, Yoruba, or Igbo. According to him, the Arabic inscriptions on the Naira notes, the CBN has been violating sections 10 and 55 of the Nigerian Constitution, which make the country a secular state. However, the CBN filed a counter-affidavit claiming that the inscriptions on the country's currencies do not connote any religious statement or Arabian alignment. Outside Nigeria now, a lawyer has told a court in Kenya capital Nairobi that a man described as a serial killer by the police was tortured into making a confession. He said Collins Khalusa confessed to having killed 42 women since 2022, including his own wife, after his arrest on Monday. He was detained following the recent discovery of 9 mutilated bodies at an abandoned quarry in Nairobi, the capital city. Prosecutors denied that he had been mistreated, and the court said the suspect could be held for a month pending further investigations. 6 people who died in a luxury hotel suite in Thailand were poisoned by drinks laced with cyanide. That is according to police who suspect that one of the dead was behind the poisoning and was driven by crushing death. The 6 deceased were found dead by housekeepers at the Grand 8 Erewhon Hotel authority who visited the hotel has ordered an urgent investigation. Palestinians in Gaza remember a time when almost everyone could drink clean water from the tap. Now less than 4% of fresh water is drinkable, and the surrounding sea is polluted by sewage as a result of poor sanitation. Adam Kepalaoli highlights the health situation in Khan Yunis.
Bulldozers plug through piles and piles of waste as residents in Khan Yunis wash hand. This worsened sanitation crisis is increasing the risk of disease spreading and deepen the mystery of those living through the war raging in Gaza. Ahmed Salala was displayed in Khan Yunis.
No one is supporting us. The smell is killing us. We can't sleep, we can't eat, we can't drink. The smell is killing us. We are calling on the municipality of Khan Yunis to remove the waste. We can't sleep. All night we're fighting mosquitoes and we can't stay still. No one is caring for us. People are catching diseases like scabies. No one is standing with us. Stand with us.
The wasteland streets, which have been reduced to rubble during the conflicts between Israel and Palestinian militant group Hamas. Since October, Palestinians have faced Israeli airstrike, shelling and ground offensives. They are also crippled by shortages of water, food, fuel, medicine, and a lack of functioning hospitals. And in what is one of the world's most densely populated places, there is now an ever-increasing mountain of garbage. But calling for government services to help is wishful thinking. Omar Mata, a Khan Yunis municipality official, says 9 months of war have caused $200 million worth of damage to critical infrastructure like sewage system and waste trucks, with the situation exacerbated by lack of fuel, which is needed to operate the cleaning and sewage system.
The piling up of waste has led to bad smells, spread of insects and rodents, in addition to the leakage of liquids from the waste to the groundwater reservoir, which is the main source of water for the residents of Khan Yunis and the Gaza enclave generally. This dumping land was not correctly designed to stop the leakage of waste liquids into underground water.
Hamas attacked Israel on October 7, killing 1,200 people and taking about 250 people hostage, according to Israeli tallies. Israel responded with an offensive that killed more than 38,000 people, according to Gaza health authorities. Aderunke Kolawole, Osrc News.
Regular Russian airstrikes have ravaged Ukraine's energy system, leading to hours-long rolling blackouts that have forced residents and businesses to adapt to the extreme heat. The Central Geophysical Observatory said it had clocked a record high, 34.2 degrees Celsius in Kyiv, as temperatures are expected to reach even higher. Blessing Obe has more.
By torchlight, Ukrainian mother Margarita Sikachuk carries a child up to a 12th floor apartment. The lift is out due to a blackout. She is one of millions of Ukrainians struggling amid a record heat wave, compounded by regular power cuts, making air conditioning units and refrigerators useless.
The first thing that has changed is that we don't cook much anymore.
3.5 degree Fahrenheit in Kyiv for July 15. Temperatures were expected to reach even higher. Store owners like Victoria Batti increased costs from running generators and product losses.
We suffer a lot. Blackouts last for 6 to 8 hours during the day, and it's a problem for dairy and ice cream. We don't order a lot of milk or butter because it spoils. We have to return products.
Ukraine's broader economy is also struggling in the heat. State weather forecasters say the harvest of late crops could decline by up to 30% in central, southern, and eastern regions. The energy ministers urge consumers to conserve energy and minimize the use of powerful electrical appliances to preserve the grid. Blessing Obe, Osrc News.
The winner of the 2024-2025 Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) will get improved prize money of 200 million naira, a 33.3% increase from last season's 150 million naira. NPFL chairman Benga Lebele announced the increment after the annual general meeting of the board and club owners in Abuja, where the clubs also agreed on the August 31 proposed kick-off date for the new season, as well as a 38-game format.
Let me tell you, when we came in some 2 seasons ago, we gave winner 100 million. Then the winner of that of last season, the season before, we gave 100 million. Then again, Rangers won this season. We have improved by giving Rangers 150 million. So when we finish our league today, a day or two after, the champion get the money. So next season, the winner will get 200 million. That is it. And this award of best player, we gave 1 million, best coach 1 million. We continue to encourage our league system. We want the Nigerian football ecosystem to have a new look, for people to have confidence in us. We want to inject more money into the system so that players will not be able to run to smaller countries to start looking for a club to play for. We want them to stay at home. But the players play for Super Eagles from the local league. That's what we're trying to do.
Chairman, Nigeria Premier Football League, Benga Elebele. And with that, we've come to the end of the World at Noon. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.